Welcome to Chinwag Tuesdays, your passport to a world of language and culture.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Chinwag Tuesdays. I'm Amanda, and today's special guest is Daniela. She's a yoga and manifestation expert, originally from Chile, but has been calling Australia home for the last 5 years. So thank you so much for being here today, Daniela.
Thanks, Amanda. A pleasure being here with you.
All right. So, Daniela, tell us a bit about yourself. Why did you move to Australia? What sent you to Australia and what drew you to manifestation and yoga?
Oh, yeah, it's all together. I was a business girl in Chile, so working corporative in office. And then I realized this is not the life that I want. And I asked myself, what you want, girl? If this is not the life what you want, what you want? And I started to have this chat with myself and was like, okay, I think it's time to make real the biggest dream that you have had, and that is travel and live in another country. And Australia always called me because, yeah, it looks beautiful. And I don't know, I just applied. I came with a work and holiday visa. And then I started to change visas. And now this is my 5th or 6th year already living here.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that's amazing. So how did you get started with yoga and manifestation in Australia? It seems a little bit of a different sort of career path in Australia.
Yeah, no, it is. So yeah, I came here. I still like didn't know much about what I want to do, but I was already here. And that was easier because I think when you're traveling, you don't have that social things that people are asking you like to be. So I was being myself here in Australia, dressing how I want and doing what I want. Was not like my parents or friends like saying you need to be kind, you need to be la la la. So I start to follow my heart and trying to find my passion. And I remember I wrote a journal. It's like, okay, what you like? And was like, okay, I like the ocean. I like yoga. I like kids. And then I start to give it a chance. So I started work as nanny with kids and was like, no, like I like them, but it's not really my passion. So no, okay, next one. Maybe I want to try surfing, or I was like, oh, I like it, but it's not. And then yoga, and I start to cry, I remember, because it was like, yes, this is my passion and this is what I want to do forever. And that was here. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And so did you do your yoga training in Australia or did you go somewhere else for that?
I went to Costa Rica.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was here in Australia when I decided to, but I didn't want to do it here in Australia. I don't know why. I was thinking actually in India, of course. But then I don't know how Costa Rica appeared, and was after COVID. So it was time to visit my family that Chile is in South America. So it was like, oh, maybe then it's easier to go to Central America, that is Costa Rica. So I did it there in Costa Rica. And then I come back here to Australia and I start to work full time as a yoga teacher till now. Yeah.
That's great. And do you work for yourself or do you work in a yoga studio, or what does your work look like?
Both. At this moment, I am working in yoga studios, also in like administrating that, so sending emails, payments, and I'm learning too because at the moment I'm just working online for myself. So it's not much like marketing, more than Instagram or payments I use.
Oh, good.
So yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I love hearing these kind of stories of people following their passion and finding their passion.
Yeah, finding your passion. Yeah, it's important to work in something that you really love. And because sometimes I need to say to myself, okay, stop to work because I know you love it, but you need to give it a rest too,
Yeah, true. I find that actually I've really found that recently. It's very hard trying to keep your work and personal life separate when you have your own business and everything's done on your phone or online. Very hard to try and separate the two. And it's something that I've been really struggling with. And I'm trying to figure out some solutions or alternatives where I can switch off, because I feel like when you have your own business or you work online, you're not able to switch off from work at all if everything's in the one phone. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you've had that same experience, but it's really tough.
Yeah, exactly the same. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think are some common misconceptions about manifestation? I feel like, I mean, I practice manifestation. I've got my vision board over
Yeah.
here. I've got like my
Oh,
diary, my
nice.
journal, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like manifestation is one of those things that people sometimes roll their eyes about, like, ugh, kind of situation. So, what do you think are some common misconceptions and how can people manifest?
Yeah. I like that you have your board, and because I think that is the most important to visualize it. I think many people think it's something really easy or something
Yeah,
really
true.
difficult. Like, oh yeah, too easy. I ask, I'm gonna, and the universe gonna give it to me. Oh no, it's too difficult. I'm never gonna get it. But I was thinking the other day that manifestation is like bake a cake. Like if you have the recipe and you follow step by step, there is no chance to don't have it. Like just
Yeah.
step by step. Like if you don't put sugar, okay, gonna be wrong. But if you put the sugar, if you put it for 30
Mhm.
minutes in the oven, if you do this, like step by step, you definitely gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like in this kind of, I guess, example, maybe maybe the end result, the cake might not be what you imagined, which I guess is similar to manifestation. The end result might not be what you had pictured, but it, you know, it maybe the universe is giving you something different for a reason. So if you follow that recipe step
Exactly.
by step, you still end up with a cake, right? But maybe it's a
Yes,
different cake to what you thought. Same with what you manifest.
exactly. Yes, exactly like that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
actually today I have my oracle cards that is not tarot, is different. Oracle
Okay.
is just message, positive messages. So I pulled a card this morning and it was like sometimes you need to be honest with yourself. Maybe you manifest something in the past, but now doesn't work anymore for you. And that's fine. I was like, it's true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we
Yeah.
manifest and then we have it and it's like, oh, I really don't want it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't need to have it because you ask it. It's like you need to be honest and okay, I don't want it anymore. Whatever.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, I needed to hear that. Yeah. I don't know if you can see here, I have the secret books. So I got into manifestation like most people through the secret.
Ah,
So I've got my little
yes,
stack of
I love
books
that
here.
book. Yeah, good
Yeah.
book. I read it many times. Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like as well with manifestation, like what you said, people think it's going to be very easy, but I think people expect it to be very quick as well. Like that's something that I've had
Oh
to
yeah.
learn myself is just because I've got it on my vision board, just because I've written it down doesn't mean it's going to happen in this year that I've written it down on. It can take years. And that's something I'm kind of having to remind myself that just because it didn't happen in the year, like let's say last year, 2023, doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to
Yeah.
remind that also because I am a not very patient person. So I need
Oh,
sometimes
no.
like, yeah, you need to calm down. The things are coming. And I like
Yeah.
to compare with online shopping. Like with you shop online, you're sure that you paid for that and it's coming. And maybe will be late, but it's coming. So same with the
Yeah.
manifestation. Be sure, relax about that. You already asked, you already did what you did, and it's
Yeah.
coming. No worries.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about some cultural differences. So you've been in Australia for 5 years. What are some
Yeah.
cultural differences that you've noticed between Chile and Australia that might have impacted your adjustment?
The most difficult for me as a Chilean girl, South American, is the affection. Now, sometimes because we say hello and goodbye with a kiss and a hug
Yeah.
all the time, not just to your friends and family, like to everyone, to your boss, to
Yeah.
everyone, like hello, bye, mwah, mwah. So for me, even sometimes it's like hello, and I'm like there, and it's like, oh, sorry, I'm from South America. Like I didn't mean to be rude or whatever. I said, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because here in Australia, yeah, you couple times like just hand or hey or bye, but never like
Yeah.
too
A bit of a
close.
handshake.
And yeah, handshake and that is so.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I
that
think
would
that
be
that
actually
is
quite
the
hard to
most,
break that habit.
yeah,
Did you notice any other differences about maybe the food, or I guess like
yes,
life in
food.
general, like Australia, people start pretty early?
Yeah, food. Yeah, true. Food for me in Chile, there are many markets. In my town, there is a market that is open the 7 days with veggies. And here it's not too easy. I live in the country in Victoria, and
Yeah,
there is maybe markets like Sunday markets,
yeah,
but not like a place where you
yeah,
I'm still getting my veggies, well, some from my garden and some from supermarkets, from Coles, but in
yeah,
Chile, no, it's like it's not common to get veggies in supermarkets. It's more like
yeah,
markets fresh.
yeah. Like India,
Yeah,
actually.
like India, yeah. And in
Mm,
Australia, no. When I went to Tassie, yes, I think Tassie.
okay.
Tassie, like there were more markets, but Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, I didn't even think of that. That's something that I think it's one of the reasons I love India actually, is because of the accessibility to fresh fruit and vegetables, like straight from the markets. In Australia, like,
Yeah,
if I lived in Brisbane, so the vegetables came from a truck somewhere. If I went to Woolworths, for example, I mean, there was a fruit and veg shop near where I lived. So I would sometimes go there and that was fresher than, say, Woolies or
yeah.
Coles. But yeah, it's something I definitely really appreciate about India.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that happened in Chile. So is that the thing that also shocked me? It was like,
yeah,
oh, where are my fresh veggies?
yeah, yeah. Did you
Yeah.
notice a difference in taste as well? Because they weren't
Oh
as
yes.
fresh?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tomatoes, avo. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot.
right.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm lucky now. At the moment, I'm living in the country, and we have a garden.
Mm.
So sometimes it's okay. But where I was living in Brisbane or Sydney, that no garden. Oh yeah, no, I was like, oh, I'd rather to don't eat tomatoes or whatever. It's like this is like nothing. It's not tasty at all.
Yeah. So what kind of what things do you grow in your garden now?
So we have tomatoes, we have potatoes, we have basil,
Yeah,
eggplants,
nice. Oh,
zucchini,
amazing.
pumpkins, squash. That this one I met them
Yeah.
here in Australia. Yes, the yellow ones.
Yes, I love
I never
squash.
saw it. Yes, squash, that ones. Never saw them before. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know where they from, but yeah, we have those.
Yeah, I don't think they've got them here in India, to be honest. They have yellow zucchini. So the zucchini shape
Okay,
and it's yellow. So
yeah,
they've got that. And that reminds me a bit of squash, but they don't have the small, like round ones that look like a mini pumpkin in a way.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is
So I
that
don't know
one.
where they're
Yeah,
from either.
yeah,
All right. So before you moved to Australia, did you have any assumptions or misconceptions about the country? And were they right or
yeah,
wrong?
yeah. I didn't know it was such a huge country.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
because
Actually, many
for
people don't.
yes, yeah, they always show like Sydney, Gold Coast,
Yeah.
like on the TV. So
Mhm.
for me, it was like, oh, Australia is Sydney, Gold Coast, is that? But then I got a camper van here in Australia and I started to travel around and was like, oh my God, this is huge. It is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Western Australia, Northern Territory. Oh, it took me a while to drive
Yes,
around there.
true.
Yeah.
I used to live in Darwin and I remember I worked in
Ah,
hotels, so I used to check in a lot of international guests. And I remember once I checked in these guests, I think they were from France, somewhere in Europe, and they had a camper van or a hire car, and they came to reception and they asked about, they wanted to go visit Ayers Rock for the day. I said, mate, like it's gonna be like it's an over 24-hour drive straight. Like there's no way you're doing it in one day. Sorry. Because in their mind, coming from Europe, everything's so small, you could travel to different areas, right? But
yeah.
no, Australia is not like that
But
at all,
here,
especially when
no.
you go to
No,
those
it's not.
Northern Territory, South Australia, Western Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that surprised me a lot. I was like, wow, it is big. It can
Yeah.
be like just a continent, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just the
it is
country,
actually.
and
Yeah, it's its
wow.
own
Well, it
continent.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I looked at this a few months ago. I can't remember what number Australia is, but in terms of land size, I think Australia is like the 4th largest country in terms of land mass. The first one is Russia. I think the second is Brazil. I think China's up there. And then I think Canada or North America, and then Australia. So definitely Australia is somewhere in the top 5 biggest countries in terms of land mass. But yeah, people don't realize.
Don't realize it. Yeah, but it's big. It is big. Yeah.
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 Wow. So it sounds like you traveled all around the country.
Yes. Yes, I can say I have been in all the states in Australia.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which was your favorite?
It is. Oh, people always ask me that, and it's really difficult. But I have 2, I think. Tassie and NT, Northern Territory.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah,
very soft spot in
Tassie,
my heart for the NT, so I can understand why it would be one of your favorite places.
It has something special, right? Yeah.
It does. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you do in the NT? Like when you were traveling around, were you teaching yoga or were you just backpacking around and traveling around?
I work in a national park in Nitmiluk National Park. That
Oh
is,
my gosh, amazing.
yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was before yoga. I was practicing yoga, but I didn't know I want to teach yoga at that moment.
Yeah.
But I was practicing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was working in that national park, and it was just beautiful being close to nature. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was sleeping in my car, so it was like camping life, but
Wow.
also working.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Nitmaluk, is that Darwin or Ayers Rock area?
It's down Darwin, so
Near Catherine?
near Catherine, exactly.
Yes,
It's an
yes,
hour
yes,
from
yes.
Catherine,
Okay. Yes,
because
I know.
Catherine was
I know the place you're talking about.
the closer town. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh, beautiful. That would have been
Yeah.
incredible.
It
Oh,
was.
I miss
Yeah.
that so much. I do really miss my time in the NT a lot. Like I lived and worked at Ayers Rock for around a year, Ayers Rock
Yeah.
Resort. And then I moved to Darwin and I was in Darwin for 2 years. And this was like over 10 years ago now, but it was like the best time of my life, I swear. It was amazing.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah. All right. So communication styles. What are some differences that you notice between, let's say, Chilean communication and Australian communication? Because Australians tend to be very direct in some things. We're very kind of straightforward in communication. So did you notice any difference?
That is a tough one, because like people are different, even like different
True.
countries. You always meet people different too.
Yeah.
But in general, can be maybe Chilean people sometimes. Yeah, they are they are direct too. I don't know. That's a difficult one, because I found like different people in both countries. So
True. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I actually
yes.
agree with that. Yeah. There's
Mm,
like this kind of generalization, I guess, about Australian people being very direct in their communication styles. But then I think of myself and I can be direct in some things, but other things I'm not direct because I don't like confrontation. So yeah, I think there's definitely a generalization when it comes to, I guess, that kind of communication style and me expressing things that I want. Or I guess when I think about my husband, who's Indian, it's the same thing. Indians are known to be very indirect, but then in some things they can be very direct. But it caused a lot of miscommunications between us, because there would be some things that I was very direct about, like things that I did or didn't want to do. And he thought I was quite rude because I was very straight and said no. And then he would say, "Why are you being rude?" And I would say, "I'm not being rude. I'm just telling you what I don't want." So yeah, those were some kind of difficulties I guess we faced.
yeah. But happen, and you need to say like, oh, this is a cultural thing. Maybe I'm not gonna take it personal, because it is a culture. I always ask like, okay, wait a moment, maybe it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, that's a really good observation. In the beginning, I didn't know and I got offended every single time. But now I am trying to like take a step back and think, is this cultural or is it, it's so hard sometimes trying to think about it, because a lot of the time it is cultural. And I read this really great book that talks about differences in cultures. And for example, Australia, I think I've talked about this in like nearly every episode the last 3 times, but Australia comes from, I guess, a cold climate culture. And India, for example, is a hot climate culture, and things are just very different between the 2 cultures. And reading that book helped me understand a little bit more. So yeah, I do have to think now, maybe this is just a difference in cultures, and just because it's different for me or my husband doesn't mean either of us are wrong. It's just different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that leads into the next question. So you do have an Aussie boyfriend. So have you experienced any funny or surprising miscommunications?
Yes, all the time. All the time. Every day, morning and night. Yeah, all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. Cannot remember like exactly what, but happened a lot. And also like he laughed about my z, because in Chile we pronounce the z same than s. So for me it's
Oh,
difficult to say zoo, lizard, hazard. It's difficult, that one. So
yeah.
his time when I say it, he laughed at me, and then I say, okay, try to say rojo or correr. He is
Yeah, the
struggling as
rolled
well.
R.
So then it's like, ah.
Yes. Yeah, that's yeah. Because in Australian English we don't really pronounce the R, so when you start to learn
Oh,
a language that has that rolled R, it can be a bit difficult. Like
yeah.
my mum's of Italian heritage, so I spoke a little bit of Italian when I was a kid, and I think I learned to do the r then,
Yeah.
and now there's the r in Hindi, which I'm learning. So for me, it's not too hard, but
Yeah.
sometimes I do get tongue-tied when there's too many R sounds in words because it's so hard for me.
Yeah. Well, for me, the z it is difficult. Z,
Yeah.
it is. I'm still working on that.
Oh, look, pronunciation is a work in progress. It's never ending.
Never ending. No, don't say that.
I won't say never ending. It just requires consistent practice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm practicing every day, 24
Yes,
hours.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a chance to speak Spanish at all, or is your days just all in English now?
90% English. Just my online classes are Spanish. Well,
Yeah.
some. And when I call my family this morning, I called my mom. Of course, we speak Spanish. My family, they don't speak
Yeah.
English. So yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
on the phone, but in person, all the time English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that you struggle to speak Spanish now in some cases? Because I
Yes.
struggle in English sometimes here, and I teach English and speak it every day, but I forget English words.
Yes. Yes. And people laugh. People laugh of you. Like when
Yeah.
last time that I went to Chile, and I couldn't remember how to say, I don't know, pepper. And my mom like laughing of me, like, now she's Aussie. And it's like, no, mom, I really don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So is your boyfriend learning Spanish?
Not really, like couple words, but no, like
Yeah. There's
to
probably no
speak.
need for him to really learn
Yeah,
it while you're in Australia, unless you guys decide to move to Chile, then he'd have to really probably
he
consider
have
it.
to. Yeah, he just say like basic words like buenos dias, good morning,
Yeah.
or yeah, te quiero, like
Yeah.
te amo. We say te amo instead of I
Oh,
love
I
you.
love you. Yeah.
We say more te amo.
Yeah, that's
Eh,
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not to have. He cannot have a fluent conversation with my
Yeah.
family.
My husband's parents don't speak English. So
Okay.
I moved here. I knew namaste, hello, like that's it. And like up kaise hai, how are you? Pretty much like what your partner knows in Spanish. That's all I
Yeah.
knew when I moved to India. So I've started to learn Hindi. It's like ongoing, but yeah, his parents don't speak English. So when I speak to them, it's in broken Hindi. And even just last night, they stayed here the night and they were trying to like explain a story to me and I just couldn't understand it. And my husband was trying to explain. And then at the same time, they kept talking over the top of him, trying to explain it to me again slowly and loudly. And my husband was getting frustrated. He's like, I can't think
Oh,
because there's like the translating happening and them talking. But anyway, it's all part of the process.
I think it's part of, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, last question. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to someone trying to maintain a positive mindset and adapt to a new culture?
Okay. I have a phrase that I really like that is like on my wall and say what today is easy, yesterday was difficult. Speaking a language or whatever, today it's easy, yesterday was difficult. So just keep trying it. If you're uncomfortable, keep trying it because we'll be comfortable one day. Don't give up. Keep
Yeah.
trying. Also, I think it's important because I know it's easy to meet with people from your same culture where you are in another country. Like I started, of course, my first friends were from Chile or Argentina or wherever, like speaking Spanish. But I think it's really important to open that circle too, to meet more people, even if they don't speak your same language. I'm not saying don't meet with Chileans or with same culture. I'm just saying like open your circle. Don't
Yeah.
close it there like just Spanish people or your same language. Open it and know yeah, even if you don't understand, first time you're gonna understand 10%, then next month 40, and then next month 100%. So yeah.
Yeah, great advice. And I completely agree too. And this is something I do teach, like I do say to my students, like when I moved here, I started to make local friends. I mean, we speak English, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
expand my circle to Hindi speaking Indians as well. There's no Australians in my city, but I do have other like non-Indian friends too. So I kind of have local and foreigner friends. And I feel like it's definitely made adjusting a lot easier. I think it's important to have foreign friends who can understand and relate to your story and your situation of living in that country. But at the same time, like you said, open your circle to new experiences and meeting new people because it makes it a lot easier to adjust.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not one or the other one, it's like both.
Yeah, definitely. That's great advice. Thanks for sharing, Daniela.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All right. So, how can people contact you for more information? So, if people are interested in yoga manifestation, even Spanish speakers, maybe in Australia who want to learn more, how can they contact you?
Yeah. So I have my Instagram that is yoga yoginis. Yoginis means the girls that like yogis are the guys, yoginis are the girls. So it's all
Sure.
together, yoga yoginis. And
Great.
I'm trying to be super constant to grow my community. So I'm posting about manifestation, yoga,
Yeah.
and being positive and about my life here
Amazing.
also. So everyone
Yeah.
is more than welcome in Yoga Yoginis on Instagram.
Perfect. I love it. I'll put it in the description anyway. So, yes, if anyone's interested, that will be in the description.
Thank you, Amanda. You're
Thank you
amazing.
so much. Thank you for joining me today. It's been so great to chat and connect.
Thank you.